Few headlines left, and this is one of them, right? So after 3 months on the campaign trail, Governor Walz, well, he's back in Minnesota. Now the former vice presidential hopeful delivering remarks for the first time since Tuesday's election loss. A big question now is what's next for him. Walz still has 2 years left as governor. However, he faces a tougher road ahead with Republicans flipping 3 seats in the Minnesota House, creating a tie for control. This ends the Democrats' control of the state legislature that they had since 2022. Walz spoke candidly Friday about working even harder now to find compromise across the aisle to continue moving Minnesota forward, he says.
I think we ought to swallow, and this is me in this as I'm speaking about myself, swallow a little bit of pride and look a little harder to find common ground with our neighbors who didn't vote like we did in this election.
Walz did not discuss if he will seek re-election as governor in 2026. Only one Minnesota governor post-World War II has won a third term. The results of one incredibly close race here in Minnesota could determine the balance of power in that state house, as we talked about. Minnesota's Republican Party is demanding a recount in District 14B. They say the Secretary of State's office reported Republican candidate Suak won by 4 votes with 100% of the precincts reporting. But on November 6th, the next day, tallies showed Democratic candidate Dan Wolgamott won by 28 votes. Now state reporting shows him winning by nearly 200 votes. Sherburne County said the staff found absentee ballots from the post office that were not included in the unofficial totals, which they always are at first. Unofficial totals sent to the Secretary of State's office on election night. The chair of the Republican Party is calling for the Secretary of State's office to investigate the results and then provide funds for a recount immediately. Police are investigating a shooting at a homeless encampment on Friday. They say 2 people were shot on Cedar Avenue near East Phillips Park. Both a man and a woman were taken to the hospital. The man's injuries could be life-threatening, we're told. And this story is just devastating. We're learning more about a murder-suicide in Duluth. Police say a 46-year-old man, Anthony Nephew is his name, shot and killed his ex-wife, Erin Abramson, and their teenage son at one home, and then killed his current wife and their 7-year-old son at another home just a mile away. Police say he then shot himself. Officers first responded after Abramson didn't show up for work at the city's Environmental Services Division.
She's going to be very dearly missed for her work and her personality.
Chief of Police said Nephew had a pattern of mental health issues. Records show he did not have a criminal history. New information from Dunn County, the sheriff, about an Owatonna man who was arrested in Wisconsin for the 1974 murder of a U of M graduate student.
My preference would be that he would have spent the last 50 years in prison. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, so I'm pretty comfortable in saying that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He's 84 years old. Who knows how long that could be.
The big break in this cold case was thanks to a genetic genealogy center in New Jersey. Detectives say Mary Schleiss was 25 and hitchhiking to an art show in Chicago when John Miller picked her up. Miller confessed that he stabbed her to death when she rejected his sexual advances. He'll be moved from Owatonna to Dunn County to face those charges. Back to deer hunting for a second here. The firearm deer hunting opener in Minnesota, like Belinda said, it is now underway. And if you're one of the more than 400,000 Minnesotans headed out this weekend, remember you got to wear blaze orange or pink on your cap. And in 14 areas, all deer 1 year and older must be tested for chronic wasting disease before they can be harvested. Though you do have the option to bring the head or the neck of the deer to a licensed taxidermist within 48 hours.